In today's video, let's talk about selling and buying at the same time in the current market, like in 2025. I'll focus in on more of the Oregon state laws and what I've seen, how possible is it to buy and sell at the same time and move only once. And that will be my focal point. And I'll share like 3 different ways that I would do. My favorite option, my second favorite, and my third. And this will give you some ideas on how to actually tackle buying and selling at the same time and hopefully move once. And the other 2 options are moving twice, but using the storage, so it's not as quite as severe as moving twice. Welcome back to my channel. This is Shawn Yu from Portland, Oregon. So first thing I want to talk about is that 2025 market, very slow market, is actually better for contingency offer and better for buying and selling at the same time. Because first reason is that homes don't sell that fast, which means when you see a house that you love to buy, there's a high chance that you may actually have a couple of weeks to make an offer. Unlike 2021, it just sell like tonight. It doesn't sell that fast, which means the sellers of those properties are more open to offers that are contingent offers. So it actually gives you more opportunities, more possibilities than super fast market. Slower market is actually better time for contingency offers. Let me put that out there first. So quick answer is it's totally possible. You just have to work with the right professionals who understands the ins and outs of selling and buying and timing and doing contingency offer, and then doing extended closing or like a rent back, setting that up so that you actually can benefit without being jerked around in many different ways and to get there. I mean, it's all about the convenience in a way. When you have to sell, if you can just move once, that's the main goal, isn't it? And get the down payment from selling your house, right? So let's talk about this. The first option, let's move on and talk about the first option. If I'm doing this, so I'll just give an example, like as if I sell this house and move to the next house. The first thing that I would do is I'll go ahead and list this house and sell this house and then do a longer closing and then add on a rent back on top of that and then try to find my next house within that about 3 months. So in Oregon, as you might know, it takes about 3 weeks to about a month and a half to sell a house. And so let's say I get an offer in the next week. It's a mid-October now. There's a good chance that the house can close by end of November. So if I close end of November, I would try to push that closing to December 15th. And then I would add on 60 days, up to 60 days of rent back, which means I become the tenant of this house and I pay rent to my buyer, who becomes the owner of this house. Then it will give me up to, let's see, January and February 15th, right? So the chance of me finding my next house between now or next week, hypothetically, when I receive an offer, I'm gonna go ahead and shop. So by end of October through February 15th, if I can find and close, which means if I can close maybe in 3 weeks on buying side, I have time to find the property until about mid-January. That's doable. The only challenge is that because it's during the winter time, choices will be limited. So It's all depending on what kind of home that I own right now and what kind of home that I want to buy. If my home is very fast selling, relatively speaking, it's not too unique. The price is in where more of a higher demand price range, let's say slightly below move up and move upper, move and up, yeah, move up buyer price range, or like first time home, then the chance of selling this house within reasonable time with somewhat aggressive or reasonable listing price is pretty high. And the buying side too, if I see what I like to buy 3 4 at any given time, if I have choices, then things are lined up for the success. It's not me, by the way, it's my dog. Like, he's like breathing hard. I don't know if you can see. Anyways, so it needs to line up. My selling house and my buying house, there has to be some availability. And if there's no availability, then the first option may be pretty challenging because I may not be able to find a house I want to buy by end of January. That is the problem. Then I go to the option 2, which is sell first and put 99% of my belongings into storage space. And then I go out and do a short-term rental like Airbnb, hotel, a different city, go vacation, go to the coastal city seaside, rent for a month while looking at online house listings all the time. But I wouldn't be able to visit, but that's okay. Or I go to like Hawthorne, just eat out every night because they have a lot of great restaurants in Southeast Portland. That will be my second option, because if you have like 99% of my belongings into storage, then it's like moving almost once with a delay moving items, right? The third option is sell and store about 80 to 90% of my belongings and just take what I need for like next 3 to 6 months. Yeah, this is kind of a little bit tricky, and then go out and rent a place for a year. As you might know, in Oregon, if you break that lease, you have to pay like 1.5 times of the rent. And I'm going to just assume that's what I might have to do because I don't want to pay rent for, 12 months. But the intention is that just in case that I don't find the house that I want to buy, at least I have a place to just stay, rent. I would hate wasting money on rent, but to find the right home so those are 3 options. The first one is, sell and buy and do a longer closing with the rent back and just move once. The second option is using the storage, do Airbnb until I find the next house. The third option is sell and then go out and rent with about 80% in storage. So I don't have to move twice, So that's my thing. So one thing that I wanted to mention here is it's really crucial that you work with an experienced realtor, because experienced realtor can and know all these options that will benefit you. Inexperienced realtor may not know there's some of this like extended closing, or be able to negotiate that extended closing with your buyer, or rent back, that type of thing. And timing the closing date of sell and buy on the same day, sometimes that can happen if you're lucky. But your realtor should be able to orchestrate that because they know all the options. If they don't know all the options, you're not gonna get all the options, right? And so that's important. Now, if I have like financially, like I don't need the down payment money from sale of this house, then it's a different ball game, isn't it? So let's talk about that. I mean, when you buy first, let's say I put like 5-10% on the next home, and then I just move into that house, buy the house, move into that house, and then put this house for sale. And if house sells in the next 2 to 4 months, I'll be fine. But the problem is if it doesn't sell for 12 months, then I'm in trouble because I'll be paying two mortgages, which is one of the worst fear, right? And in fact, there's the one of my buyer client who is in that position right now. He came from Texas. He went to buy a brand new home here, and the brand new home builders did not allow a contingent offer of sale of his Texas home, so they end up not buying it. In the meantime, in the beginning, we all thought Texas home's gonna sell fast, but it never sold, and it's been almost a year now. And in this case, he's paying mortgage in Texas and he's paying the rent here. So he's almost like paying almost like double mortgage because of the rent. Not as high as two full mortgages, but it's close, I think. It depends on what he's renting right now. And so in this case, I mean, he might actually have to rent out that Texas home and try to save money on that, and then maybe try to go ahead and buy here because the mortgage will be higher, but you're gonna stop wasting on the rent money. However, I don't recall exactly if he needed the down payment from sale of the home or not. If that's the case, I mean, he doesn't have any other option. And sometimes when you go to a new city, just renting could be a good deal because you're learning about the city, you're learning about the schools, lifestyle, where you like, where you don't like. You start liking certain neighborhoods. So, yeah, I mean, it's when you go to a new city, I'm like most likely going to recommend you to just go out and rent for even for 3 months. But know for sure, just make sure you understand their rental law in that city and the state. Oregon is 1.5 times of penalty of the rent, by the way. So before you do all these big moves, big decisions, if you don't have this, you can actually waste a lot of time, which is your homework. You really have to have a clear goal of what you try to accomplish when you move. What will be why you're moving, basically. Hold on. Why you're moving? Is it school? Is it close to your work? Close to your hospital? Do you need to downsize to take the money out so you can retire? Or are you moving out of the country? I mean, there's so many reasons why people move, and having a clear goal, clear objectives before you make these, very time wasting, very stressful selling and buying, make sure to do the homework. Now, here is again working with an experienced realtor can really kick in and really benefit you is that people like me, I have the personality of turning every stone type of thing. So I'm gonna be asking you, so why are you moving? When do you want to move by? When you go there by a certain date, what would that do to you? Why do you want that? What if you don't get this? And what will be like in 5 years? And I mean, this is a basic question, but I can really dig deep down to your subconscious level wants and needs and have to and all that dreams and all that is going to be revealed when you talk to a realtor like me. I've done this many times to people. I'm like a interrogator. Anyways. So my point is that when you understand the objectives, your goal clearly in the beginning, just sit down on a big piece of paper, pros and cons of selling and buying and moving to where, and write everything down. Then you're going to have much clearer decision-making process when you have challenges, when things are not selling, when you can't find the house you want to buy. There's no inventory. there's no buyers. The bridge loan is so expensive. Blah, blah, blah. There's going to be challenges. So you need to have a clear objectives to, make the right decision at the time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the couple other like small items is the bridge loans. They're kind of expensive. They're higher fees. They're short-term loan, and typically you have to be able to qualify for 2 mortgages. And many people may have some challenges. And so you need to have a lot of savings, or you have very strong financially, high income, that type of thing. But it is possible. And then, but just understand that the lender will add in really fat fees or high rate. But think of this as like a convenience type of fee, but it can be pretty expensive. I want you to know that. And as I mentioned earlier, the rent back here is 60 days. But when it comes to a cash offer, if your buyer is a cash offer buyer, you can negotiate anything really. I mean, you can rent it for a year. Who cares, right? Because you become a renter of this house. The owner says, yeah, you can stay there for another year because I'm not moving in because I'm in South Korea. I'm not moving in until 2026 November. Just go ahead and just keep the house, nicely, be my renter, just pay the rent, right? But when it comes to financed offer, you need to give the possession within 60 days. And so we talked about the bridge loan, the extended closing date option, the rent back option, fast closing options, talking about the homework that you have to do. Renting in a new city is a good idea. And what kind of home that you have to sell, what kind of home that you're going to buy that you want. And like I said, working with experienced agent can really like make it very more clear, even buying a home, people like me will kind of get into your subconscious level and really dig deep, anyways. So if you want to talk to me about your Oregon real estate goals, give me a call. If you're in different states, you need some recommendation of realtors, I can find you that and make the connection for you too. So let me know. I'll put the link below. You can go into that link and sign up, and I'll get back to you on that. So yeah, I mean, I went, different options here, but to sum it up, I think the best one for my position, what I would like is to sell first with extended rent back and go find one and close this first and right after buy, or close first, have a few weeks and then buy and make one move. It is totally doable in 2025 and 2026 as far as I can see. The mortgage rate is going down, so market is going to heat up soon. So when the market is slow, this is when you actually make the contingent offers work. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching this long video. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next video.